Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another Daily Market Report brought to you by Mike Bjork. Today is Tuesday, September 11th, Patriots Day. Many of us remember that fateful day, and it's definitely a day to remember, and definitely a day to wish our loved ones to say I love you and everything else, because you just never know about life. But to kind of move on here, we do got a couple economic news releases scheduled for today. We got the NFIB Small Business Index. This kind of gauges the confidence level of small businesses. And in July, we had a pretty high rating of 107.9. And for August, it came in at 108.8, so it had a pretty good uptick there. And this is actually the highest rating ever in a 45-year history for the NFIB Small Business Index. So this is a pretty amazing stat right there. Smaller businesses are doing well, and of course, what it is the number one complaint, or if it's a good one to have, is trying to find enough skilled labor for jobs. We got a lot of job openings, just are looking for the skilled labor to meet that demand right now. Also, on the other docket item on the docket is the wholesale inventories for the month of July. So in June it went up 1.1%. In July it went up 0.6%. So looking well on that category as well. So let's kind of move over to the headline news. Stock market is up today. Dow's up over 100 so far this morning. We do got a few Fed speakers that could move the markets a little bit. The underlying factor in the what's moving the markets, what investors are saying is, of course, they're keeping their eyes on the trade talk, especially with President Trump making note that we already have $200 billion on the table. Now he's maybe adding another $267 billion for a total of $467 billion in tariffs against China. China went ahead, of course, they're trying to file a grievance with the U.S. on their dumping policy in regards to with the World Trade Organization. About they want to hit the U.S. with about $7 billion, looking for their permission. So it'll be interesting to see how things play out. Again, this is something that the investors are watching, because this could be on a global level here, and this is this could affect the world economy, but not just the U.S., but the world economy, and that's what they're kind of viewing. And of course, they're also watching. We've seen the U.S. is kind of trying to hammer out a deal. They're going to meet up with the EU. It looks like they're going to meet up again towards the end of September. So hopefully we'll have some good news about a final deal with them. We had the announcement that a deal is in play with the EU when the EU president came over to the U.S. and talked and announced the good news. So we'll have to wait and see when actual deal comes out and get more of the details of that, what kind of a deal we got with them. So let's kind of see how this is all playing out in the bond market, and it's not liking it too much. Yesterday we talked about possible positive crossover. It kind of juked and kind of went further down. We're in an overbought position, or oversold position, oversold position. So we could see eventually, but right now we're testing the next floor of support, and this will be probably a strong one here. As you can see here, I did test this back in August here, and it did hold up. So hopefully this will continue to hold up. Right now we're down to about 16 basis points, which translates to, yes, higher interest rates today. So again, we may see this eventually as we're in an oversold position, and try to get that positive crossover we've been looking for. And as you can see here, we're kind of going into this oversold position here, but we got a lot of room here in the yields here before we could see a turnover. Now, later today, we'll get what they call a bond, a bond turnover. Basically, what that means is that the bonds will be packaged up and resold on Wall Street. So every 30 days, roughly, they package them up and resold. Now, it'll look like on the chart that pricing got worse. So it's usually in the basis of 15 basis points, but there's no change in pricing. It's just recalculating and resetting, basically, is what that means. And on the charts, it might look like, again, it got worse, but in reality, it didn't have any effect on our pricing. So tomorrow, you'll see that in our charts coming up. So just be cautious if you're watching tomorrow's video as well. All right, so that pretty much wraps things up. Rates are a little bit higher today as a result of the unfortunately, we didn't get that crossover we had hoped, but at some point it will. So just be a little cautious if you're out there, if you're refinancing or in the middle of a transaction and have not yet locked in. Be a little cautious, because could be a little bit, could be in the same range, because right now we've been holding at this range, and it's a pretty strong floor. But again, it could break further down. It's always possible. All right, so excuse me about that. If you guys want to get any change to the markets, want to get updates, just come over to Twitter. You can follow me at Mike Bjork, and you can get the updates on there as well. You guys have a great rest of your day. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll look forward to see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.